Sorry, my looks like my camera was going a little crazy, but this is Crystal Blue Persuasion by Tommy James and the Shondells. I think I played this before, but I really couldn't think of a good song to start off the new year with. But here we are. It is the brand new year. Brand new episode of Dylan Knows, and look, my hair looks terrible. Just got out of the shower. I need to get a haircut badly. I don't care. I don't want this up here. Out. I missed my mouse. Anyway, this is the first episode of Dylan Knows of 2020. God, I hate this hair. I need to get it cut. Welcoming you all coming in here and enjoying your Sunday afternoon. Normally, I wouldn't do this on a Sunday afternoon. Normally, I would do it Saturday evening, but due to the NFL playoffs, I had to be watching them to see who my Ravens would be playing. The game against the Patriots and Titans went until about 11 o'clock, so then it was too late. So I had to decide to do it today. So get it out of the way today. So it is the first episode of Dylan Knows of 2020. I'm Dylan, and thank you all for joining me today. For those who might not know about me, I've been doing this show for close to 6 years now. It'll be 6 years September. And I'm married with 2 kids, both in double digits. I am presently writing my first novel. I did my first writing yesterday, 11 pages, 2 chapters. Pretty proud of myself. I'll see if I can get a little bit more done today because there's some more football I want to watch today. So we'll see what happens. I worked for a radio station, WLAF 101.9 for a few years. Met some interesting people, did some interesting things, worked at Diamond Comic Distributors for a bunch of years also, the only distributor of comic books in the world. Then I was a brand manager at the same place for a little while. What else have I done? Was a bagel baker. Also was a extra for the TV show Homicide in 2 episodes. And let me see what else. Working presently at a uniform distribution center as special projects manager. And I don't know, is that about all I can think of right now on top of my head? Live in Reisterstown, Maryland, which is a suburb of Baltimore. My favorite football team is the Ravens. Favorite baseball team is the Baltimore Orioles, of course. So I'm a homer, as it were. And this is my lovely trash basement. One of my New Year's resolutions I made last week was to clean it up a little bit. So hopefully we'll be getting that done as the year progresses. You'll see less and less of this junk and more of what our basement has to offer. But for now, there's my flamingo light as I always have it on. There's a long story behind that. We're not going to talk about that right now. So we're at 3 minutes in, and here's Dylan Knows. So for those who don't know what Dylan Knows is, my show's gone through a bunch of different things before, but right now, as it presently is set, is I basically local news sometimes too, and then I go and I write them all down and I spit them out to you and make my little snide remarks and comments. So that is what I do, and I also drink a lot of iced tea because I presently am suffering from some kind of stomach issues, which I probably really should get checked out, but I haven't had time to do that yet also. And again, another one of my New Year's resolutions. But I've killed enough of your time. 4 minutes is a good introduction time. So what are we doing here? By the way, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Holidill, HOLIDILL, or Dylan Proco. Right, Dylan Proco. That's my other account that I have. Let me see here. Dylan Proco, DYLANPROC. So those are my 2 Twitter accounts. Facebook is just straight up Dylan Lang, which is my name. And I'm also on Instagram, Goodreads, you name it, play fantasy football, all kinds of fun stuff. Was on Google Plus for a while. So enough about me, though. I just was doing that because it's 2020, and I've been seeing a lot of stuff on the internet. It's like, hey, it's a brand new year. Introduce yourself. So I haven't done that yet. 5 things people don't know about you. I haven't done that yet, and maybe I will. I don't know. This shirt I got for my kids for Christmas. I also have my Bigfoot socks on, but that's besides the point. So what are we doing? So because it is 2020, I will be doing a bunch of stuff that I'm looking forward to in 2020. It's not everything, and I haven't done a full examination of everything coming in 2020, but these are the things that I'm looking forward to, with my little comments here and there as well. We also, one of the defining things between these 2 is meth. So meth might not be something good to be on, right? We'll talk about the limo mobile. We'll talk about Australia a little bit. We'll find out about sex parties. We'll find out about masturbation. I'm not completely nice person. That's why this isn't really for kids. A white rainbow, which I'd never heard of before. Some deaths. Cocktails. Some new cocktails. I was like, what the hell was that? Greyhound does something really cool. One cocktail in particular, a friend of mine does not want me to reveal to you about, but hey, no one really watches the show anyway. I got 2 viewers. Thank you very much for watching. Why don't you go ahead and I'll tell you when you get there, you go in and do this for me to give them a little bit of a headache. Murder House Flip. The Shark Arm Murder, which is an interesting story. Golden Globes tonight. I usually do a Academy Award show later on in the year. We'll do that again. A cat butt pencil sharpener. Some NFL news. Netflix just dumped their basic 2020 original movies. Some are pretty good in there. And some may also be possible Academy Award nominees for next year, because there's a bunch down at this one. And okay, and we will have some other stuff, some not so good stuff, some good stuff. And 2020 starts off with a girl selling her nudes online has made $17,000 by selling her nudes online, and she's not pocketing that. What she's doing is she is going to be sending it to Australia for the help. If you don't know what's going on in Australia right now, Australia is currently burning. They've been showing some infographics. Australia is about the size of the United States, and there are massive areas along the coasts all over Australia which are burning massively, and that includes one of the hottest spots in the world is located in a suburb of Australia due to these fires. It is an awful, awful event going on. It has killed over thousands and thousands of wildlife. About 8,000 koala bears have been killed. Thousands of animals killed. People are being forced out of their homes. People who live on the coast have been forced out into the water to survive. It is an absolutely terrible and awful event. And do your best if you want to do something to help the world. Donate some money to Australia to help them try to recover, because it's terrible. And this woman, even though you might think that that's kind of a slutty or whatever, she's selling her nudes to help Australia. It's better than the Kardashians, who became famous for sex tapes, and their sexual bodies not doing a damn thing to help Australia. Granted, they don't have to, but you'd figure, when Notre Dame burned down, billionaires were offering money to rebuild it, and yet when Australia's burning, the Amazon's burning, not a peep from the billionaires. So I don't know. Along those same lines, the Amazon has lost more than 10 million football fields of forest in this decade, which is also a scary thought, because 30% of our oxygen comes from the Amazon, and we've just lost 10 million football fields worth of it. So that's a lot of force. So I don't care what your belief systems are. I don't understand how you do not believe climate change is a problem right now. But that's besides the point. I will try not to get too political, even though I may occasionally step on it. And yes, I will be freely to admit I am a liberal. If you don't like that, well, that's my belief system, and I'm not going to force it upon you. I'm just giving you my opinion. So there's that. The Limo Mobile is a Harley Davidson up front and a limo in back. It's a weird looking designed vehicle with the Harley Davidson motorcycle in the front, and in the back it's sort of a limo enclosed sort of car thing. Kind of an interesting design, and who knows, maybe start seeing that on the road soon. Last week, they said Robin Williams was picked as the greatest comedian of all time. Well, Tom Hanks has been picked as the greatest actor, voted the greatest actor of all time this week by probably the same vote as well. Last week, I can't disagree with that. I know there are people who will bring up a whole bunch of other actors, and yes, there are other actors who might have more Oscars and be in more prestigious stuff, but Tom Hanks is still one of the most bankable actors out there right now, and a genuinely nice person as well. Also, jumping onto a story I did last week as well, I talked about giant drones that were being discovered in Colorado mysteriously in the far reaches of Colorado, where there's not a lot of people doing weird maneuvers. Nobody knows what they're there for. Well, they've actually now moved into Nebraska as well. So there's some weird thing going on out in that Colorado-Nebraska corridor. We don't know if it's alien related or if it's something else entirely, or there's something else going on out there that we might need to know about. But giant drones have been spotted in Colorado and Nebraska now, and who knows how much longer it will be till they get closer and closer to where you live. Unless, of course, you already live in Colorado, Nebraska, and they're already there. And I just lost another viewer, so sorry about that. Probably didn't like my views on things, and found myself boring my voice being very pedantic and very blah, blah, blah. Cat lets her mom back inside the house after she locks herself out. So basically, a woman, leaving for work or whatever, says goodbye to her kitty and locks the door and goes outside, then discovers that she does not have her house key. So she needs to get back in the house to get her house key, but she has no way to get in. So she tries to get the cat's attention, the cat, to go upstairs and maybe help unlock a window or open it a little bit so she can open it as well. And the cat eventually understands and does it. So, again, animals are really smart. Let's see. Yes, this one kind of irked me a little bit. For $2,000 a ticket, you can go to a Make Women Great Again conference run by men. They will teach women how to be the ideal woman. And their view of an ideal woman is not to have a say in anything, not to make as much money as them, to make sure you dress nice, smell nice, don't have any tattoos, have sex whenever, they want to have sex, that you are going to give them sex, give them children. These men are going to tell you how to be the ideal woman. So for $2,000, you can find out how to be the ideal woman by these racist white assholes. So just thought you'd like to know that, women are objects to them, and they're going to have you pay $2,000 to let them tell you how to be objects for them. So just thought you'd like to know that. Some deaths this week, particularly in the sports world. There were 3 major sports deaths this week, which is really quite odd that we've had such, we've had musicians and movie stars and stuff like that, that rule of 3, but we've never really had a rule of 3 when it comes to sports people. Well, we did this week. Sam Weish, who was a former coach and I think player of the Cincinnati Bengals last time they went to the Super Bowl, he died this week. David Stern, who was one of the longest running NBA commissioners, he is no longer the commissioner, but he died this week as well. And Don Larson, a Hall of Fame baseball player who has still to this day been the only player to throw a no-hitter in a World Series game, died as well this week. So 3 different sports legends dying in 3 and who played in 3 different sports dying in the same week, football, basketball, and baseball. Also dying this week and not related to sports, Neil Innes. Fans of Monty Python know who Neil Innes is. Neil Innes was the head minstrel in Monty Python and the Holy Grail, and wrote the songs for that, as well as the Camelot song. He also wrote songs for Life of Brian and for The Meaning of Life. He also teamed up with Eric Idle for their fake Beatles documentary show called The Ruddles, which aired first off as a short on Saturday Night Live, and then was expanded into a little bit over an hour-long documentary about the rise of a fictional band called The Ruddles, which parallels what the Beatles did. It was a great movie because they actually got major stars like Paul Simon and Mick Jagger and the Saturday Night Live cast to come on. The Saturday Night Live cast played characters in the movie, and they actually interviewed like Mick Jagger and Paul Simon and other musicians about the Ruddles, and they did it, straight up, talking to them like they were the Beatles. I should have played Piggy in the Middle to start today's episode probably instead of Crystal Blue Persuasion, but I like Crystal Blue Persuasion. I like Piggy in the Middle also. So, type in the Ruddles and you'll see all their songs. And then, of course, from Monty Python, The Holy Grail, and Life of Brian and Meaning of Life, all that stuff. Neil Innes was one of the members of Monty Python. He passed away this week. The father of four is furious to find out that their hotel was hosting a 1,000-person sex party during their stay. I'd like to know where these sex parties are and what actually happens in them. But 1,000-person sex party at a hotel, and you don't tell other people that you're going to be doing this. Are they having sex all over the hotel, or is it just confined to the conference room or their bedrooms? I don't know. But it's intriguing what a sex party actually would be like. But I can understand, father of 4 kids who doesn't want their kids to be exposed to this kind of stuff, being upset about it. So understandable. Someone bought a horse, a tailored 3-piece suit, and he looks dashing, but why would you pay money to make a 3-piece suit horse? Weird things you find on the internet, folks. The Irwin family, talking about Australia, the Irwin family opens up the Australian Zoo Wildlife Hospital to treat over 90,000 hurt animals. So they're doing their part in Australia, helping these animals. We've been seeing some of the heartbreaking videos as well. The koala asking a bike rider for water, a kangaroo who's been burned asking for help from a young boy to help him get out of the forest. All these types of videos. It is awful down there, and I don't know. It's awful in the world right now with that possibility of World War III, with the Iran attack that was unwarranted and unsanctioned, and the threats that the current commander-in-chief is putting against civilian sites, which is a terrorist act and a war crime. But no one seems to give a rat's ass. But we're not going to go into that again. So just got to keep it down there. Here's something to cleanse the palate. A man breaks into houses and sucks people's toes. I think there was someone similar that did this a while back, but this is a recent story that just came up again. So either it's a copycat or the same person who got out of jail and can't help themselves, but they break into your house to suck on your toes. I don't know what else to say about that. An SUV, there was, when you're on the highway, you have those, speed cameras and stuff like that, view stuff. Well, one person discovered footage of an SUV in front of this camera driving off of a California cliff. I think, oh my God, that's terrible. That's awful. What's going on? So they went to the site where they know where this camera was. They go to the site. They see the results of the accident. The guardrail, I think, has been destroyed, but there's no car and there's no person. I think they went into the water that was down there below, could not find the car, could not find people. So they looked all over that place. So people are still trying to figure out what in the world actually happened. So to be continued, I guess. Weird stuff happened in the world. A woman tries to pass off dog urine as her own during a drug test. That's about as stupid as the sports person who tried to pass off his wife's pee as his own during a drug test, but the pee revealed that he was pregnant because his wife was pregnant. So weird. Just don't do drugs, man. If you know you're going to be drug tested, don't do drugs. I know it's easier said than done, but still, man, don't try to fake it out. Do it. If you fail a drug test, you fail a drug test. You got to figure out a different way to do it. Try not to get hooked on drugs. If you're trying to get a job, don't be on drugs, 97-year-old veteran eats alone at Arby's every day. So Arby's decides, you know what? He's a veteran. He's alone. He's 97 years old. We'll just give him free food whenever he comes in. So he eats for free at Arby's, being a veteran, 97-year-old. Now, people have been sending me things about, oh, Arby's not real food. Yeah, it actually is. Arby's is probably my favorite fast food place with their roast beef and their chicken cordon bleu and their French dip and all kinds of really good stuff they have there. Their French curly fries. It's actually a better fast place than your McDonald's or Burger King's, and I will die on that hill because there is nothing you can say to change my mind about that. I love Arby's more than McDonald's and Burger King. I don't even really like McDonald's and Burger King, to be honest. Again, you learn new stuff about me all the time. We had a woman who got locked out of the house and had to have her cat help her out. This time a dad gets locked out of his home where his smart doorbell mistakes his Batman shirt for an intruder and locks the door. See, again, I'm all for technology and all that stuff, but there are just certain things that we become too reliant on technology that stuff like this will happen. So now what are you going to do? Your shirt wearing Batman, I guess your face isn't really seen, and they just saw the Batman and they didn't recognize the face, so they locked you out. You can't get back into your house. What if it was raining, snowing, cold? What if it was an emergency? I don't know, kind of ridiculous to me. What is that? I hate when I can't read my own writing. Oh, giving children experiences instead of toys boosts intelligence and happiness, a study found. Okay, look, I'm all for that. You know, I know there are those families out there that they want to take their kids everywhere. They want to take them to the park or the zoo or the museum, or, you know, get them out there to do sports and, you know, anything but, you know, technology and watching TV and reading comics and stuff like that. It's all bad for kids. It's going to make them stupid. No, it doesn't. But no, it's great. You know, if you want to give your kids experiences, that's great. You know, if you have the money to go out every day and go do these experiences, and, you know, your kids don't get too tired and you have the time to do it and you're not too tired to do it, because let's face it, we all work really, really hard. And, you know, we try to give our kids, you know, fun experiences. We take our kids on vacation. We take them out on things to do and stuff like that. But to say that if you don't do that, your kids aren't going to be smart or happy, that's some bullshit right there. And I don't believe a lot of these studies. Bye. Something unusual photographed, a white rainbow. A rainbow devoid of color has been spotted. I've never seen anything like that before, and I thought it was kind of cool to see that, so I thought I'd mention it. So that's pretty cool. Something else science see. During the winter and spring, maybe some late fall sometimes, one of the constellations you see in the sky all the time is Orion, which is very recognizable by the 3 stars on its belt. And he's got a very distinct design, and you know exactly who or what he is. Well, one of those stars on Orion is called Betelgeuse. Yes, there's an actual star called Betelgeuse. That was named, the movie was named after that, I think. But Betelgeuse apparently is, depending on which scientists you read, some say is on the verge of exploding, and others say nothing to worry about. It is losing intensity, which is usually a sign that it's getting ready to collapse in on itself. So scientists aren't sure when and if that's going to happen. Now remember, the starlight we see today, tomorrow, whatever, has been millions of years coming. So maybe not millions, maybe thousands of years coming. So as far as we know right now, Betelgeuse is already gone. We don't know that for sure, but they're saying that it is losing its intensity and may very well soon explode, which would, you know, it's close enough to the Earth that might actually be able to see star goes supernova. It's not going to affect us in any way, but it still might be something interesting to see in the night sky, particularly in any way. But it still might be something interesting to see in the night sky, particularly since it's part of such a constellation that everybody knows, familiar constellation. Comes out only in the wintertime, so it's not down in the Western Hemisphere right now, or the Southern Hemisphere, excuse me. It's in the Northern Hemisphere right now. Star Wars. What the hell is that? Star Wars reboot sequel scene 7 of Clue is coming. Oh, Clone Wars. Okay. And Star Wars Rebels. Okay. Sorry. I love my handwriting. Star Wars is huge right now. And one of the best things about Star Wars is their Clone Wars cartoon, which ran for about 5 seasons. And then Disney didn't want to make any more, but then Netflix took it over for a 6th season. And now Disney Plus is taking over for a 7th and final season, which will be coming out later this year. See my 2020 stuff later on the show. Also, after the Clone Wars, they created another cartoon called Rebels, which also got as much love as well. And I think that one was 5 seasons maybe as well. That one is not getting any new seasons, but what it is getting a sequel with the characters who remained from the series, because some of them did die and pass away. So got those coming up soon. The Clone Wars season 7 coming sooner probably than the Rebels one will. If you want to get caught up, get Disney Plus. They have all the seasons of the Clone Wars, including the 6th season from Netflix, and also the Rebels, every one of their seasons as well. Everyone makes a joke about when they go to CVS that their receipt is about this long, maybe even longer, within the framework of the widescreen I got here. So it makes a joke. Well, somebody decided that they were going to make a scarf that imitates that. So you get a scarf you can put on around your neck, but it's basically a CVS receipt. So for those who want something quirky or silly or whatever, that might be a good gift for somebody. Insomnia Cookies will deliver cookies to you until 3 a.m. Now, I did not ever hear of this place before, but they are opening one in Maryland, which is where I'm located. And when I posted that, there were people friends of mine from other states who were like, oh, yeah, they're great. They're the best. We've had them before. They've been down here in Virginia for a while, or up in New York, or wherever. I forget who my friends were who gave that up. They've been around forever, and they're really, really, really good. I love socks. All kinds of socks. I have let's see if I can try to lift up my Bigfoot socks here. I got these for Christmas. Those are Bigfoot socks. So I love these types of socks. I had taco ones yesterday. I had another Bigfoot pair I had, and all kinds of really great socks. I got a Gremlins one and the turkey from Friends and all kinds of stuff. Well, hand-knitted beer socks is the new thing now. They look like pints. They are gold with the white foam at the top. So the foam is more like the types of crocheted socks, not the type that I have on, but the ones that have like the fringe and stuff like that. So it looks like your feet are 2 pints of beer. So get that for your beer lovers in you. Man missing at the Grand Canyon for 11 days is found alive. So it's good to see someone is able to survive in the Grand Canyon for 11 days. Tiramisu Oreos is the new Oreo flavor, the first new Oreo flavor of 2020 coming out. It's going to have 2 or 3 different flavored creams in it. It's for, again, a limited time, but Oreos have been going crazy with their flavored creams. So there's now a tiramisu one coming out. Could be interesting. I don't know if I mentioned this because I don't know if they talked about this. Maybe I did and I just don't remember, but I just noticed at my grocery store this weekend, they have pretzel Pop-Tarts. I don't know what they taste like. I don't know if they're going to taste like pretzels with the Pop-Tart filling, because they had 3 or 4 different kinds. I got the brown sugar one because, the Annie Ann's pretzel that I like has the brown sugar cinnamon on it. So I bought a box of those. I'm going to try those eventually, and we'll find out. Those would probably be ones that you might want to try toasting. I don't really toast my Pop-Tarts that much, but that one might be one you might want to try. So we'll find out if I'm going to end up doing that or not. 30-foot tumbleweed traps 30-foot tumbleweed pileup traps a car and a semi-truck on a Washington highway. I've seen these before, where these giant tumbleweeds you see, rolling through the desert. Mostly you see them but sometimes they're all over the place. They can create massive things, and when it covers the road, there's not much you can do, and when you try to hit it, it's going to get you stuck. They're tough little buggers. So caused a semi-truck and a car to be trapped in that. That's kind of insane. It's not going to be good for my friend Stardust, but scientists are calling for a complete ban on glitter. I don't know if I agree with that. I think glitter has its place. I think glitter is fine with me. So there's that. All right. Now's the time you've been waiting for. This is the stupid people part of our show, including a number of the Florida Man stuff. And some other people as well. So first up, we don't have Florida. First up, we'll put this under the headline of meth is bad for you. An Oklahoma man, not Florida man, Oklahoma man on meth steals car from a porn video store with a goat and a guy inside, drives through 3 states, leads cops on a low-speed chase. Now, you thought that was the craziest commercial or craziest headline you heard this week. Well, let's just look at it. What is a goat doing in a car with a guy at a porn shop? And then a low-speed chase? Wouldn't it be easier to catch somebody in low-speed chase? They're going 10 miles an hour. Just pull up in front of them, stop, jump out, arrest them, done. I don't understand that. But you thought that headline was rough. How about this one? This is Florida Man. Again, meth-fueled. A meth-fueled Florida man covered in mud, naked, shakes off 2 tasers, bites a canine police officer, a dog police officer, fist fights one of the officers, and spits on the other. Stay off of meth, man. Stay off of meth. I'm telling you. It's not good for you, man. Here's another one. Florida man arrested for fighting a gas pump. Could he be on meth? Probably was. Why do you fight a gas pump? It's a gas pump. What are you going to do? Punch the screen in? I don't understand. A Florida couple is arrested for selling tickets to heaven. I don't think they're on meth, but they're trying to, fight off, get the people who believe that they are doing bad things and they need to get to heaven, so they will pay their way. I mean, that was something they did in the old days. I forget the name of what it was called, but if you paid money to the church, they would allow you access to heaven. I mean, that was how they put it as well. And one more meth one I missed out on the first time. A meth user fights off 15 police officers while masturbating in a bar. Meth is bad for you, man. Meth is bad for you. See, this is the type of stuff you're going to see on this show all the time. The adventures of meth-using Florida mans. This person probably was on meth when he created this, but there is a cat butt pencil sharpener that meows when you sharpen the pencil. What the hell, man? What is going on in our country? Don't say that. Okay. Disney Plus, I talked about that earlier, has all the, well, not all, but is going to be getting all the MCU movies except for the Spider-Man one, since that's a joint with Sony. And any other new ones, since they are now in charge of the MCU. Well, they just bought Fox, which had a bunch of Marvel movies already being sold separate from the MCU, the X-Men series, Fantastic Four series, Ghost Rider, a few other ones as well. Well, Disney Plus, people weren't sure if they were going to add those to Disney Plus, but Disney Plus in Canada has added all the X-Men movies except for the newest one, Dark Phoenix, to their Disney Plus in Canada. And down in America, they haven't added the X-Men yet, but they've added one of the Fantastic Four movies. Only one right now, so maybe they'll do another wide dump eventually, but they haven't done the other Fantastic Four or the X-Men ones. But that's something kind of interesting, the fact that, they are putting these movies on, even though it's not part of the MCU, as it were, but they're still fun, entertaining films to watch. So that's pretty cool. Greyhound is offering free trips home to runaways. So if you were a runaway, and you want to go home, decide you made a bad choice, Greyhound will drive you back home for free. So you don't have to worry about where you're going to get money and decide, what, in the end, I'm not going to do it. Speaking of Disney Plus, WandaVision, the WandaVision TV show that was supposed to air in 2021 has now been moved up to 2020. So that's pretty good for us Marvel MCU fans. More on that later in the show. An Indian university, Indian University, is the first to teach ghost studies. So if you want to learn about ghosts and, like ghost hunters and ghost adventure stuff, you gotta go to India and go to Indian University. Pretty cool. I talked about how the Kardashians, their popularity and because of their bodies and stuff like that, and maybe should be helping sell their nudes, like the one woman who's selling for $17K to help Australia. Well, watching Keeping Up with the Kardashians makes you a worse person. I think I probably talked about that one before also, but that just sort of came back to me. I missed this one in my death story. Sid Mead died. He is the visual artist for Star Trek and Blade Runner. So he's had a bunch of books posted, and a lot of people know his stuff. He was the one that designed the the dark, disturbing way Blade Runner was, and did a lot of the Star Trek stuff. So rest in peace in there. Sharon Stone, the actress, was kicked off of Bumble, which I guess is some sort of dating site or whatever, after her account was reported as being a fake. So, I mean, Sharon Stone has, she was, hot in the 1990s, and her stars cooled a little bit, but, she's a regular person as well. So that's interesting. And the fact that they kicked her off because someone said that's not the real Sharon Stone and it actually was, is kind of interesting. Did someone at ESPN leave their porn on during halftime at the Louisville, Mississippi State bowl game? Now, after they did the halftime show and they go to commercial, usually they play some sort of music or whatever, people were inundated with the sounds of pornography, the climaxing and the oh god, fuck me, stuff you hear when you're having sex in a porn. So nothing has been reported yet from ESPN. Nobody has said anything. So who knows? Human remains found in an Idaho cave, identified as an outlaw who died over 100 years ago. I'm always interested in that kind of stuff. Actually, right now, I'm reading a bunch of books about the Old West right now. Actually, I'm reading concurrent books written by Tom Claville about Wild Bill and about the city Dodge City. Both are very interesting, and I'm hopefully going to be finishing them both around the same time. So that's good. I already talked about an Australian suburb being the hottest place on earth due to the fires there. Please, if you can, spare some money to help out the Australians. As I said, thousands of animals have passed away. Thousands of forests and property damage has happened, and there's got to be a way to help stop this. Don't know how, but there's got to be a way. Hemp batteries have more power than lithium batteries, which I find interesting. Last week I talked about how hemp houses are stronger than concrete ones. I find that kind of interesting anyway. Last week I talked about a bunch of stuff that Christmas trees have been used for. There was one, let me see, that it was used to shore up the beach dunes and stuff like that from erosion. There was one where you can feed it to your goats, and also you can chop it up and have your own potpourri. There's all that. But here's a new one that I didn't know about till after Christmas hit. And actually, the funny thing is, I think my father-in-law told me about this before I realized I had tagged this in my Facebook feed. Christmas trees are now being turned into canes for veterans. So basically, you can take your Christmas tree that you're done with and give it to somebody who will make canes out of your Christmas tree that you're done with, and give it to somebody who will make canes out of the trunks to help veterans and anyone, I guess, who needs them. Not necessarily has to be veterans, but anyone who needs them. Get yourself an Indiana Jones style bridge for your cat to lounge on. It's an actual thing you put between things, and the cat sits on there and just sort of droops on there, and it's kind of a cool place. They give them a chance to overlook things and see stuff. On that note, my daughter actually had gotten my cat a cat bed and a scratching post. And she scratched the post a little bit, but has been sitting on it a lot, but was ignoring the bed. And so my daughter's getting a little distraught that she wasn't like her bed. Well, recently the cat has been popping up on the bed, so she understands what it is. Doesn't stay there for a really long time, but still has been using it, which is good. And now we just need to get one of these bridge-style hammocks for her as well. Also, Christmas, a cat gives birth under a Christmas tree. Perfect Christmas present for everybody to have all these kittens at Christmas time born under a Christmas tree. Cats love their Christmas trees being underneath them for whatever reason. It's kind of cool. There is a wooden Star Trek Enterprise rocking horse that somebody made. So if you're a Star Trek fan, you can get yourself a Star Trek Enterprise wooden rocking horse for your child. More than 1 billion of cocaine were seized in a recent, recent hunt or something like that. So they found 1 billion worth of cocaine seized. So that's less drugs out on the streets, and the drug dealers are going to be definitely pissed about that. I guess I could have left this for my 2020 thing, but I'll just say right now, there will be a massive witch festival occurring in March of 2020. I'm not a witch person. I don't know actually where it is, but if you're a witch person, witch fan, whatever, it's going to be a massive convention that has never been seen before this time. So that's pretty cool. March 2020. So I guess just type in witch convention. You can find out all about it. Zac Efron has been hospitalized with a life-threatening infection. I think he's getting better now, but the fact that when, anybody, not necessarily celebrities, are hospitalized is always a scary thing. So good help for him. The world's first someone made, I don't know what these words are, but someone made a lightsaber, a homemade lightsaber. It actually cooks people's faces at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's not quite there yet, but they figure out a way to make a lightsaber. But the fact is, it's not going to be like a lightsaber, because as soon as you turn it on, it's going to burn your face off. So just be careful, everyone. The dog that played Toto in The Wizard of Oz made $125 a week, which was more than what the Munchkins were making at that time. So a dog was making more money than a Munchkin on a movie set. That's and like the dog wasn't like Benji or Lassie or anything like that. It was just some random dog. So that's just kind of weird. There's a new show out there now called Murder House Flip. It's true crime mixed with renovation show. So people find a house where a crime occurred, a murder, death, whatever, and they come in and I guess the murder's already been investigated, so it's okay if you get rid of stuff. And they flip the house, which basically means they destroy it. They rebuild it and make it into a livable space, which I guess might upset the ghost if you're not careful. So that still might be interesting to see. So if you're a fan of true crime stuff, and these renovation shows, this might be a type of show you might want to watch. Don't know where or when it's going to be on, but it's an interesting idea. Colorado daycare provider is charged after police find dozens of kids behind a fake wall in the basement. That's just sad and disturbing and terrible, and more proof that there are still lots of terrible, terrible people and things out there right now, and it's pissing me off. Don't know what else to do, but that's just... Netflix is going to be doing a TV series based on a comic by Greg Rucka called The Old Guard that's going to star Charlize Theron. I love me some Charlize Theron, and I think that's really a neat little thing that's coming up. NFL, as I told you, the reason I'm doing this show now instead of last night was my Ravens are the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Chiefs are the number 2 seed, so they had byes this week for the first week of the playoffs in the NFL. So last night we got to see who the AFC was going to be playing because both AFC wildcard games played. The 4 o'clock game was an instant classic with the Buffalo Bills taking on the Houston Texans. So the Bills went out to a 16-0 lead at halftime, and the first drive that the Texans did in the third quarter was terrible. But things changed when the Bills got the ball back in the third quarter, and J.J. Watt, who had come back from after being out for 8 weeks with a pectoral injury, came and caused a sack, which caused the Texans to go down for a long drive, score a touchdown, and get a 2-point conversion to cut the game to 16-8, which is 1 score. And then from that point on, they scored again, and they scored again, and they went to a 19-16 lead over the Bills. And so it took a while and looked like the Texans were going to come back for the win, but the Bills were able to get 3 points to tie it just at the end of the game to make it go to overtime. The Texans stopped the Bills on their first drive, and then the Texans ran it down the field and kicked a field goal to win the game 22-19 to advance against the Kansas City Chiefs, because the nightcap was the New England Patriots taking on the Tennessee Titans, who are the number 6 seed, and the Patriots were the number 3 seed. And it was a tight one at halftime. Tennessee Titans had just scored right before halftime to go up 14-13. And that's the way the score remained until the fourth quarter, when on a last pass, that could very well be the last pass of Tom Brady's career as a Patriot, it was a pick six and caused the Titans to win the game 20-13. So those are your AFC teams. The Titans come to Baltimore to play them in the next round of the playoffs on 8:15 on Saturday night. So unfortunately, again, the show will be on Sunday again, which is fine. I don't mind going on Sunday because I'd rather watch my boys play on Saturday, which would be a good game, hopefully, and hopefully we'll win and advance to the championship game. So we'll see what happens. Today, the NFC is going on right now. The NFC has started their game at 1 o'clock. Let's see what the score is right now. We bring you up-to-date scores for the NFL. The New Orleans Saints are playing the Vikings right now. The Saints are up 3-0 with 6 minutes left in the first quarter. So we'll keep on that. Later today is the Eagles versus the Seahawks. So the winners of these games will go on to Green Bay and San Francisco. So we'll have the playoffs set for next week by the end of the day today, probably around 8 o'clock tonight. We will know what the next round of playoffs is going to be. We already know the AFC. We're just waiting on the NFC right now. Alcohol. Everyone said, as I talked about last week, one of the biggest hits of 2019 was Baby Yoda. Well, they created a Baby Yoda cocktail for your drinking pleasure. There also is a drunken peanut butter cup cocktail that a friend of mine knows that I like peanut butter cups, which is something else you learn about me. I love peanut butter cups. There's a drunken peanut butter cup cocktail as well. So there's that one out there too. Again, just type these in and find out how to make them, and it'll give you a step-by-step how to do it. Now, here's one that my friend Josh didn't want me to mention to you. He's a manager at a Red Lobster. And Red Lobster has a Bloody Mary, which includes a lobster claw, cheddar bay biscuit, and shrimp. That's just really kind of cool. So I had to put that in there. But he posted back and said, don't post this shit. It's impossible to make. Particularly when we're busy. It's really hard to make and crazy, blah, 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 blah. Don't promote this stuff. Well, I'm promoting it, Josh, unfortunately. I mean, I got 2 people watching right now, and who knows how many more after that. You all go to Red Lobster, get yourself a Red Lobster Bloody Mary with the lobster claw and the cheddar bay biscuit and shrimp in it. Sounds like a great drink to me, actually. I think I might go. There's one right down the street from here. Maybe I'll go to that one and ask for the Red Lobster Bloody Mary. I'll tell you how it is. Maybe I will. So, love you, Josh. Tonight is the beginning of awards night. The Golden Globes are, did I do it on here? Did I do it on Facebook? Might have done on Facebook. The Golden Globes are tonight. It's the first awards ceremony of the year. Let's see if I can find the list of nominees. Here we go. This is Variety's predictions. For just the film part. They do TV and films. I don't have the TV ones on here right now, but this is the film ones, and I'm not sure if I agree a lot with Variety's idea. But the thing about the Golden Globes, they divide the Best Picture into drama and comedy. So Best Motion Picture Drama in the Golden Globes, the nominees are The Irishman, Marriage Story, both from Netflix, 1917 from Universal, Joker from Warner Brothers, and The Two Popes from Netflix. And The Two Popes on there, I might check that one out. They're picking The Irishman to win that one. Best Actress in a Motion Picture Drama, Cynthia Erivo in Harriet, Scarlett Johansson in Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan in Little Women, Charlize Theron in Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger in Judy. They're picking Renee Zellweger to win at that. We'll see about that. Best Actor in a Motion Picture Drama, Christian Bale for Ford vs. Ferrari, Antonio Banderas, Pain and Glory, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. Now, they're picking Adam Driver, which I find really interesting because everyone has been saying that they actually say, so the award is his to lose, Adam Driver's. No, actually, it's Joaquin Phoenix's to lose. So Variety, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but whatever. Best Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Dolomite Is My Name, which I saw and loved. That's on Netflix. Jojo Rabbit, which I haven't seen, but I want to see, Fox Searchlight. Knives Out, which I want to see, from Lionsgate. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Sony, which I did see and I love. Rocket Man, which I want to see, from Paramount. And they pick Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I can't complain with that one. Best Actress in Motion Picture, Musical Comedy, Ana de Armas from Knives Out, Awkwafina for The Farewell, Cate Blanchett for Where'd You Go, Bernadette, Beanie Feldstein for Booksmart, and Emma Thompson for Late Night. They say Awkwafina should win. We'll see. Best Actor in a Motion Picture, Musical or Comedy, Daniel Craig for Knives Out, Roman Griffin Davis for Jojo Rabbit, Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Taron Egerton for Rocket Man, and Eddie Murphy for Dolomite Is My Name. They picked Eddie Murphy, which I think would be fantastic if he won. Be his second Golden Globe win, and I think it would be great. He has a drama one. Now he would have a comedy one. I think that'd be awesome if he won that one. Best Supporting Actress in a Supporting Role in Any Motion Picture, Kathy Bates for Richard Jewell, Annette Bening for The Report, Laura Dern for Marriage Story, Jennifer Lopez for Hustlers, Margot Robbie for Bombshell. Jennifer Lopez, Hustlers, been getting really good reviews, so they picked that one. Best Actor in a Supporting Role in any Motion Picture, Tom Hanks, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes, Al Pacino, The Irishman, Joe Pesci, The Irishman, Brad Pitt, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They picked Brad Pitt, so we'll see what happens. Best Director, Motion Picture, Bong Joon-ho for Parasite, Sam Mendes for 1917, Todd Phillips for Joker, Martin Scorsese for The Irishman, Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They picked Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. Best Screenplay Motion Picture, Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, Bong Joon-ho and Han Jin-won for Parasite, Anthony McCartan for The Two Popes, Quentin Tarantino, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Steve Zalian for The Irishman. They give that one to Quentin. Best Motion Picture Animated, Frozen 2, How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, The Lion King, Missing Link, Toy Story 4. They're giving it to Toy Story 4. Best Motion Picture Foreign Language, The Farewell, Les Miserables, Pain and Glory, Parasite, Portrait of a Lady on Fire. They gave it to Parasite. Best Original Score, Alexandre Desplat for Little Women, Hildar Guðnadóttir for Joker, Randy Newman for Marriage Story, Thomas Newman for 1917, Daniel Pemberton for Motherless Brooklyn, Thomas Newman, the winner for 1917. Best Original Song, Motion Picture, Beautiful Ghost from Cats, I'm Gonna Love Me Again, Rocket Man, Into the Unknown, Frozen 2, Spirit, The Lion King, Stand Up, Harriet. They pick I'm Gonna Love Me Again. Now that's just the movies. The TV, I don't have the listing here, so we'll see what happens. So knock yourself out about that and enjoy that. That's tonight. So I just bored somebody to pieces there. So those are the picks that Variety has. So we've got that coming up. Netflix, I'm not going to name all these because I just lost a view and we're getting close to the 1 hour point. So Netflix just announced a ton of new movies. Let's see if I can even find the list. Let's see if it's just really, really close. But a bunch of these are ones you're going to want to keep an eye on because they are ones that could possibly be big ones. Old Guard is not a TV show; it's a movie. So that's the one I thought that it was a TV show. So I was wrong about that, but that's one of the ones I thought was shows their own. Miss Americana, Mank from David Fincher, Uncorked, Rebecca. Hillbilly Elegy from Ron Howard, which is getting a lot of Oscar buzz for Amy Adams, Glenn Close, and Gabriel Basso. The Five Bloods, which is the Spike Lee joint about 4 African-American vets who returned to Vietnam searching for the remains of their fallen squad leader and the promise of buried treasure. Chadwick Boseman, Paul Walter Hauser, Norm Lewis, Delroy Lindo, and Jonathan Majors. Boys in the Band. All the Boys, P.S. I Love You, Eurovision, aspiring musicians Lars, Will Ferrell, and Sigrid, Rachel McAdams get opportunity to be and to represent their country. I'm thinking of Ending Things, a road trip with Charlie Kaufman, who hasn't done a movie in a while. All the Bright Places, The Last Thing He Wanted. Anne Hathaway plays a journalist who loses the thread of her own story when a guilt-propelled errand for her father thrusts her from byline to unwitting subject. A Fall from Grace, Tiger Tail, The Willoughbys, Kissing Booth 2, The Half of It, Dick Johnson is Dead, The Platform, Crip Camp, Spencer Confidential. Mark Wahlberg plays ex-cop Spencer, who moves in with Hawk, Winston Duke, an aspiring MMA fighter with his own rap sheet. And so based on the Spencer for Hire books, I'm assuming. Sergio, Over the Moon, which is an animated film. Coffee and Kareem, The Prom. Ryan Murphy directs story of a lesbian teenager who's banned from attending the big dance with her girlfriend. The injustice prompts a cast of Broadway eccentrics to descend on the small Indiana town to fight back, including Meryl Streep, James Corden, and Nicole Kidman. Of the Fire, Chris Hemsworth movie. Lost Girls, an Amy Ryan movie. Jingle Jangle. So that's a whole bunch of. Go see if you can find this list of Netflix films. There's some really, really good stuff. I just did a quick look at some of them. But that was those, right? Those were them, excuse me, I should say. So a lot of good stuff coming up. So if you haven't gotten it yet, go for your Netflix. Finally, about right before the end of the show, we still have our 2020 advanced look at. But the shark arm murder is going to be the last story we talk about before we hit the 2020 advanced stuff. Takes place in the 1930s, and it's an actual true story that happened. 2 guys fishing off a coast. And I think it was Australia, actually. They catch a small shark. And that's kind of cool. So they're trying to pull the shark in when all of a sudden a giant tiger shark comes out of the water and eats the shark that they had just caught. But it was still on their line, so they were able to pull the tiger shark onto land. Now, they didn't want to kill it because they work at an aquarium. So they're able to transport the shark to their aquarium and make it as part of a new exhibit at their aquarium. People love sharks, So they got this tiger shark. They got him all set up. He's swimming around, and he's doing fine for a few days. And then all of a sudden, after about 2 or 3 days, he starts acting really, really viciously, bumping up against the walls and shaking violently and all kinds of stuff. And they don't know what's going on with him. And all of a sudden, he vomits up a human arm, a full human arm. That's, been tore off, has a tattoo on it of 2 boxers, and is fully formed, hasn't been digested or whatever. And that freaked the person out who had been watching, so now they're not watching anymore. So now everybody is talking about, okay, so who is this person? So they're able to get the arm out, and everybody is talking about, okay, so who is this person? So they're able to get the arm out, and the first thought is, let's see who this person is. The fingerprints are still intact, so they're able to take fingerprints and get it sent out and discover that it's the arm of someone who's been missing for a while. So their thought process was, this person must have fallen into the water and the shark bit off his arm or ate the body or whatever recently, but the arm just didn't get digested entirely yet. But then they started looking at the arm a little bit, and it looked like that wasn't the case. It looked like that an arm, it was cut off of a body, not bitten off by a shark because of the way the slice looked. So now they're looking at possible murder. So they do some research on this guy and discover he's been missing, and discover that he's been in some kind of trouble, and the people he's worked with are kind of causing trouble. So these people become suspects, and they start interrogating them, and eventually they find out the story that this one guy had him killed, and they threw the body parts into the water, but they don't understand why the arm was the only thing that got eaten. But there was still, and then the person who was supposed to, one of the witnesses of it was found dead, so this person escaped. It's all kind of complicated, but regardless, the thing is that it was just kind of a weird story that happened in the 1930s. I posted on my Facebook page, just follow me, Dylan Lang, and you'll be able to see it. It's pretty cool. So there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happened. But it was the guy was murdered. They chopped him up. They threw the body parts into the water. A shark just happened to grab the arm and ate it, and didn't eat the rest of it because they had to kill the tiger shark, I guess, to look at his body to see if anything else was inside it. Or actually, it's the little shark. I'm sorry. The little shark was the one that had eaten the tiger shark, or not the tiger shark. The little one that the tiger shark had eaten was the one that had eaten the arm. So they cut open that one and discovered no other human remains in it. So it was just the arm that just so happened to catch its eye. Kind of weird. Now, here's what 2020 is coming, so bear with me for about 10 more minutes, and then you can go about, watch the rest of your football, or enjoy the rest of your day, or whatever. So about 10 minutes, I'm going to try to finish by about 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here. What to look forward to in 2020. The MCU is coming back with a vengeance. Their first movie is their usual May time slot. The Black Widow movie will be out this year, followed by the Eternals in November, which is a new group of characters from Marvel and stars Angelina Jolie. So that should be an interesting way to start off the year with 2 films, one with the character you know and one you don't. We also get the Falcon Winter Soldier TV show on Disney Plus, and as I mentioned earlier in the show, we get WandaVision as well. Widow, and then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the Eternals, and then WandaVision was how they were going to release the stuff. So we will see how that works out. But all that stuff is coming out from the MCU this year, so that'll be great. So if you haven't gotten Disney Plus yet, get it now. Catch up on The Mandalorian, because Mandalorian Season 2 will be out in the fall of 2020 as well. So looking forward to that as well. Can't wait to see that. Wonder Woman is finally getting her sequel. It was supposed to come out last year, but they pushed it back to this year. So Wonder Woman 1984, the first trailer has been released. It looks pretty good. And it's done by the same creative team, so we'll see how that looks. So that'll be a good one to look at. Ghostbusters 3 is going to be out this year as well. The first trailer for that came out. I actually kind of enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was really kind of cool trailer right now. I don't have CBS online, but the Picard TV show is a big one coming out this year. So definitely recommend that to check out as well. That's about it for movies and TV stuff. There's probably other ones that I just haven't looked at fully. So maybe I'll revisit this in a little bit and just say this is the upcoming once I do more research on it. But it's just some of the top of my head stuff that I could remember. In books, I told you about the Wild Bill book and the Dodge City book I'm reading. Well, there's going to be a Tombstone book by the same writer. I'm going to pick that up coming up in April. The new Hilo book will be out February 4th. I just ordered that for my kids. It'll be here on time for the February 4th release, and the kids will be off school that day. So that's going to be good. Suzanne Collins, who wrote the Hunger Games saga, is writing the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which is a Hunger Games prequel. That'll be out this year as well. So that's in the books. Comic book wise, Tom King is one of my favorite writers nowadays. He is no longer writing Batman because he's joined over to Batman Catwoman, a 12-issue miniseries that'll be starting later this year. And he's also writing Strange Adventures, which is his 12-issue miniseries about Adam Strange. So I'm a little bit angry about that because I have a 7-movie series idea for Adam Strange, and I'm afraid he's going to steal all my ideas. Convention-wise, the Baltimore Comic-Con will be on October 23rd through the 25th of this year, so weekend before Halloween. It's also going to be probably around that time is going to be my 25th college anniversary. 25 years ago, I graduated college this year. So 25 years ago in 1995, I graduated college. So we're going to have a anniversary around homecoming. Probably that time. I haven't heard anything about it yet. I'll have to keep an eye out for my annual alumni newsletter. Baby Yoda merch and Mandalorian merchandise is finally going to make its way out into the world, so people are going to go crazy for that. Plush animals and pops and all kinds of t-shirts and all kinds of craziness. So that'll probably be the hot stuff through the spring and early summer. Holiday-wise, Christmas and New Year's fall on Fridays this year. So there'll be 3-day weekends like that, 2 in a row. 3-day weekend to start off 2021 and a 3-day weekend for Christmas. Valentine's Day is on a Saturday. So enjoy that as well. Cinco de Mayo is on Taco Tuesday. Halloween is on a Saturday. Hold on. One of those things isn't right. I think Valentine's Day might be on a Friday. Let me see. Yes, Valentine's Day is on a Friday. Excuse me. So Valentine's Day is on a Friday, and Halloween is on a Saturday. Yep, Halloween's on a Saturday. So we've got that. We have a presidential election that also means we also have a primary coming up. So Maryland has a special election they're going to do in February. So we've got a bunch of that stuff coming up. The Summer Olympics are this year as well. My birthday is on a Saturday and is also the first day of summer due to leap year. Also, my birthday will be my family reunion where everybody from my dad's side of the family who is still living, and a lot of them I haven't seen in a really long time, will be showing up 15 minutes from our house for a big summer picnic thing on my birthday. So I think that's kind of cool. My sister will be turning 50 years old this year. So that's a big deal for her. I'll probably go down and see her sometime to do that. Speaking of conventions, Shore Leave, the Star Trek sci-fi, it's not just Star Trek, but sci-fi convention out here in Hunt Valley is going to be July 10th through the 12th. And if you're a Doctor Who fan, River is going to be coming out there, and you can talk to her and get her to sign stuff, maybe get some pictures taken with her. So that's pretty cool. My son Noah is bridging over to Scouts. His sister is already a Scout. My son Noah will be becoming a Scout and start working his way towards Eagle, which is great. The Ravens are the number 1 seed in the playoffs, so it's the Super Bowl goes through Baltimore, so they play their game next Saturday. This upcoming Saturday. If they win on Saturday, they will host a championship game, and the winner of that game goes to the Super Bowl. So it's possible we could have a Super Bowl champ, or at least a Super Bowl contestant from Baltimore this year. That'd be great. We might be going back to the beach this year with my wife's in-laws. There's been some minimal discussion about that, so we've got that to look forward to as well. And that's about all I have right now. Obviously, other things will be popping up during the year, but that is my 2020 look forward. Maybe I'll do one once a month to say, hey, this is other stuff I found out that's pretty cool, and this is what's upcoming. So we'll see about that. So to reiterate, next week, the show will be on Sunday again because the Ravens will be playing the night game. I'll be watching that, so there'll be no Saturday night show. I haven't done a Saturday night show in forever, it seems. But that's okay. We're good on that. And I think that's it. So thank you all for watching and hanging out with me today. For a lot of people, life goes back to normal tomorrow. People have been off for the last 2 weeks for vacations and holidays, stuff like that. Tomorrow is the beginning where everybody is probably going to be back from vacation and work and stuff like that, and holiday stuff, which means that traffic is going to be a disaster. So look out on the highways tomorrow, and also look out. There's a possibility of snow coming in on Tuesday here on the Eastern Seaboard, but it's going to get warm again by next weekend. So we'll see what happens. For all that, I'm Dylan Lang. Enjoy your 2020s. I said follow me on Twitter at Holidill, HOLIDILL, or at Dylan Proco, DYLANPROCO. And then if you want to join me on Facebook, just Facebook search Dylan Lang, LANGE, and you'll see all kinds of good stuff. Instagram, obviously, the same thing as well. And that's it. So thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and happy 2020. And we'll see what this year brings. Stay cool. And if you can find some time, if you can figure out a way to do this, if you want to do it, send some money to Australia, help them out, and help protect animals and bring them back to normal. Okay? See you guys. Bye. Come on.